The subject or concept of bidaa is highly important, but at the same time extremely complicated. One of the mostly misunderstood topics and concepts of this time. This series of lecture, by the grace of Almighty Allah, will provide a foundation, an academic foundation, religious foundation, technical foundation, juridical and jurisprudential foundation, and theological foundation to understand the reality of bid'ah and to differentiate between the reality and perception. There are always two ways to understand teachings of Islam, and particularly regarding Aqidah, our Islamic faith and the science of theology. There are two different ways. One way is to keep our mind initially empty and to try to understand the concept in its total reality with true appreciation, with proper comprehension, trying to understand it directly from Quran and Sunnah, taking all relevant verses or all relevant ahadith, the traditions of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whatever the case may be, taking into consideration all necessary and relevant ahadith, and to conduct a comprehensive study of all those nusus, all those texts, by removing any kind of contradiction somebody finds out while studying different ahadith and texts of different traditions, by creating a compatibility, mutual consistency between them, so that any kind of contradiction, apparently literal, if it is found, it is removed, and the concept is understood in its totality. But while applying your mind in the study of Holy Quran or study of the traditions of Holy Prophet, you should get a proper intellectual, academic and juridical, legal guidance from the imams, great imams of the ummah, the great worldly recognized authorities of Islam, those who transformed and transferred the Islamic knowledge, the knowledge of Quran and Sunnah to us through generations, from generations to generations, seeking help of their works, their interpretations, their academic commentaries, their explanations, the principles which they laid down, the legal principles, juristic principles, exegetical principles regarding tafsir of the ayat of Quran, juridical principles regarding the legal interpretation of the ayat of Quran and the hadith. So one way is the getting guidance from the imams and authorities and applying your mind or engaging yourself in a very comprehensive study of Quran and Sunnah and studying all relevant ahadith and traditions which have direct or indirect impact on the particular subject which you are going to study, which you want to understand. And then after this comprehensive study, then you are able to form your opinion, or you are able to conceive, or you are able to form the concept which you want to. This is one way to understand the teachings of Quran and Sunnah and the teachings of Islam. Then there is another way also, second way. And this way is that to occupy your mind, preoccupation of your mind with a specific concept which you have already concocted, fabricated, or using a soft word, which you have already formed in your mind, and now your mind is already preoccupied. You have your self-created conception, and after this preoccupied mind, after having this particular self-concocted, self-formulated concept, then going to Quran and Sunnah and picking up some specific verses or ahadith, as the case may be, a few ahadith specific to support your idea which you have already formed, which you have already created with the, you can say, with the defective knowledge, defective information, and to substantiate your own idea which you already keep in your mind through some specific ahadith without getting any kind of legal, exegetical, theological or juridical help and guidance from the authorities, considering yourself as an authority of Islam. So it means you are using Quran and Sunnah as the tools of supporting your ideas which you have already formulated, and your minds are already occupied with those concepts. And now you use Quran and Sunnah, a few ahadith, very few ahadith, selective, just to explain what you think, just to correlate what you conceive, just to establish and substantiate what you believe in, leaving and disregarding all those ahadith, dozens and dozens of ahadith and texts of Quran and Sunnah, and neglecting hundreds of great imams of Islamic history, those who were known to be, those who are known to be, and those who will known to be, authorities, reliable authorities, unanimous authorities of Islamic community, Muslim Ummah, neglecting their opinions and replacing them by your own perceptions and conceptions. So this is the second way. Occupy your mind with your own formulated opinion and then pick up some verses or hadiths of Holy Prophet ﷺ to substantiate your opinion. I think If we adopt the second method, that would be an intellectual dishonesty. This would be totally unfair. And no doubt it would be an intellectual dishonesty. And Islam and Prophet of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam never allows us to do that.